I've asked some of my design friends to give us some tips how we can improve certain areas of our homes. So come along and let's see what they have to say.
So, because I'm short, I need a step ladder.
I mean, you want it to look cute, don't you? You need binoculars in the jungle. Aren't they gorgeous?
So stay tuned.
Today we're going to talk about bedside tables. So let me tell you about mine. Tree was taken down on my property. Then I had 2 sections cut to the proper height. It added wheels. Then I simply polished the top with butcher's wax to give it a nice smooth surface. So now I'm going to show you what my needs are for my bedside table. Always water. An alarm clock. Flashlight. Pad and pen. Flowers are always a must. And of course, a picture of my Jack Russell Windsor. So, I hope this has inspired you, and I wish you a pleasant day.
Hi. Hi. I'm Bailey. Welcome to the jungle, also known as my bedroom. So I hope you're ready for some drama and some maximalist styling, okay? Because I am not your average girl. So I'm going to start with this beautiful lamp. I wanted a jungle style, but I also love glam, so I was not going to be in the jungle without a chandelier. This vase, metallic blue, all the colors that are in my room. Now, like I said, I hope you're ready for some big style, because I got some. I'm putting these sticks in that vase. I think it's a great juxtaposition between the enamel and the metallic to add some natural looking sticks. And plus I like drama. How's that for drama? Love this beautiful crystal decanter. That was really cool tray. And I wanted to add a little pop-up color in addition to the blue. And then I also have a scented candle. Love, love, love these gold vintage teacups. And actually I'm gonna use it as a tray for my jewelry. Cool little artsy little notebook, some necklaces. Oh, I forgot some antique binoculars. Gorgeous stone, I'm in love with stones. Sage, I must have my sage. I found this really cool trim. I'm gonna try it out. If it doesn't work, I'll chuck it. But isn't it cool? I think that's it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go on over and enjoy my new nightstand styling. Have a sip. Hope you all loved it, and cheers. Thank you, House Beautiful. Have a great day, y'all. Get out my bedroom.
Hi guys, I'm Taniya Nayak, and I want to show you how to restyle your nightstand. So what I've done is created varying heights using various objects, but all of these objects actually serve a real purpose. We're dealing with a tiny amount of real estate here, so we have to make every piece count. I started out with a couple of books just to vary the heights. I love having a notebook by my side, and I always have a motivational book. Bring in some nature. I brought in a cute peonies from my sister's backyard that I love. I'm a lip balm freak, so here's the function of that. I always keep my favorite lip balm right by my bedside. The candle is just one of my favorite things, especially when I'm trying to mellow my brain down to go to bed. I cannot sleep with jewelry on. Some people can, I can't. So I have to take my jewelry off, so I always keep a cute little dish, and I can't sleep when the sun is shining. So I have my eye mask, and this helps me sleep in just a little bit longer. Now this is the big one, the lamp. A table lamp for your nightstand should ideally not exceed the size of the perimeter of your nightstand itself. So I have a pretty large drum shape, but I'm making sure that it's not overhanging off the edges. I also picked up a lamp, which I'm really excited about, that has USB ports in it, so I can be all charged up and ready to go in the morning. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to House Beautiful, and you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all at Taniya Nayak.
Hey House Beautiful fans, Garrow Kedigian, New York City interior designer here. We're in my home in Montreal, and today we're gonna see how I go about styling a bedside table. My bedside area in Montreal was a little tricky. It's a little narrowed in between these two columns. And you know, it's a little counterintuitive to go with a table that's a little bit skinnier, a little bit taller, and has glass in it. But you know, it works perfectly in this space, only because I have these bed hangings and there's a lot of weight to the bed. I think this adds a little bit of lightness to the space. Of course, by every bedside you need a lamp. I love this piece, it's lovely. I had a custom shade made for it, and I actually elevated it a little bit higher because I wanted to go with the vertical dimension and the proportions here. I like to have a pen and pencil so I can actually write some ideas down. I also think a very healthy conglomerate of books on a bedside table can be a nice way to animate, especially in this bottom shelf. Everyone's in the middle of reading a book every night, so this is the book that I'm in the middle of, and I like to keep that right by my bed. Just a little accent on top of it, which gives a little bit of color, which I love. Beautiful. And then here, I found this lovely candlestick actually at the Paris flea markets. And it's the perfect thing to fill the volume underneath the bedside table. Take a look. What do you think? I think we have it. There you go. There's my bedside table. Hope you love it.
Hi, I am Beth Diana Smith of Beth Diana Interior Design, and today I'm going to show you how to style a nightstand. Don't forget, you also have to think about what's above the nightstand as well. So today I'm actually going to start you off with art. I made 2 art selections that I've already traced on craft paper. This gives me time to tape it up, make sure I have it exactly where I want it before I put any holes in my wall. And as a tip, if I'm doing more than one piece, I always write a quick note saying exactly what the piece is. I'm gonna leave quite a bit of white space between the top of my nightstand and the bottom of this piece of art because I want to make sure that I left ample space for some things that I want on here, such as vases and some other goodies. I chose 2 pieces that I really love, one being a print called The Architect's Daughter from this amazing DC-based artist. Second, for sentimentality, I used a piece of art that I hold near and dear, which is a scan of my mother's 1976 passport photo that I had printed and framed. All right, I think we're good to go. It looks good. I love it already. So, for a nightstand, for me personally, I like a mix of things. The things that I really love, like an elephant is hands down one of my favorite things. Because it's really important for nightstands to be functional, I know for me, I need a little bit of white space around here because if I'm eating a snack in bed or I'm having a glass of wine, it usually lands here. And let me also add that I am a maximalist, so I like a lot of stuff. So I'm not gonna try to jam pack a whole bunch of items onto my nightstand, but I do want enough to be able to walk into my bedroom and feel like, oh my God, I love it, because it has a lot of items that I love. Okay, so I love what I have so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a couple of books in here that I can slide my laptop onto at night. Also because what I like to have next to my nightstand is all the books that I have been dying to read that I haven't started yet. As a constant reminder, like, Beth, don't forget about me. And here we have it.
Hi, I'm Shea McGee, and I am the co-founder and creative director of Studio McGee. We are standing in my master bedroom. I prefer this side of the bed, so I'm going to show you how I style my nightstand. When styling a nightstand, I always start with a lamp. I put it in the center to give scale and height, and then fill in around it. I always start with a vase. Great for fresh flowers, but also pick one that looks good without. And then I love a candle in a master bedroom. It sets the mood, it smells great. And then a little tray. And then still leave room back here to charge my phone. Once I set everything up, I realized everything is kind of the same height. So we want to add levels and layer. I added this little journal here to prop up the flowers, and that was just the finishing touch. I'm a big believer that a master bedroom should feel like a calming retreat. And to me, that means keeping clutter off of the surfaces. So when in doubt, pare it down to just the very, very bare minimum, add fresh flowers, and you'll be good to go.
Hi, I'm Allie Morford.
And I'm Leigh Lincoln. We're best friends and business partners.
And today we're going to show you how we style a nightstand, and we're going to walk you through our process and tell you why we chose the things that we did.
So when styling a nightstand, to start, we like to clear everything off and start with a nice, clean, and simple palette.
Next up is functionality. So in this case, we're adding a table lamp to the space. You can also do a sconce that would go on the wall, just for some extra nice ambient lighting.
The next thing we like to do is add a little bit of personality. So whether it's a framed picture of a loved one, or in this case, because it's smaller, we're gonna add a small little candle, just to give it a little extra touch.
So at Pure Salt, one of our key ingredients to pretty much every design is plants. So adding live greenery, even if you don't have a green thumb, adding some foam greenery is totally okay too. It's better than nothing in our opinion. So you'll see like just one of the most important elements is adding that in. And as soon as you do it, it totally brings it to life.
And then the other thing that we think is important is just if you play with heights, right? And you play with layering different elements. So again, this nightstand's not huge, but you start with like a tall lamp, you layer it down with a plant, and then you ground it with a third thing, the candle. Thank you so much for watching.
Well, hello, House Beautiful. My name is Erika Ward. I'm an Atlanta-based interior designer and showroom owner. And today we are in my bedroom. Instead of having a dresser in the room, we have two chests where we house our intimates, our clothing, workout stuff. I house all my lovelies in a mirrored tray that you see on top. And the mirrored tray allows you to have a collection of items as opposed to things spread out all over the top. In my mirrored tray, I've got a beautiful glass vase of floral. I love fresh flowers. I love the fragrance. But if you are allergic to flowers, I would suggest that you use a green plant of some sort. Something living on top of the nightstand is always a wonderful thing. Also, you'll find are like keepsakes of mine. So right now, I've got a pair of swans that are really special to me. I've had them for several years now, and I like to look at them on top of my nightstand. The other thing I have is a keepsake box that one of my very best friends gave me at a bridal shower. One of my favorite things on my nightstand are my lamps. They're huge and they're organic and bulbous shape, and they're really great because my bed is huge and it allows me to be able to have light shine down onto my book while I'm reading. And so having the proper height lamp is crucial. The other thing that you'll find on my nightstand is a book of prayers. And so sometimes before I go to bed, I may take a look at something. Also beside my nightstand is a chair where I can actually read or talk to one of my children, because my side of the bed is, well, like any mother's side of the bed, it's pretty heavy traffic area. So have visitors throughout the night maybe, or in the morning. Just what I need within arm's reach, and things that will help me to fall asleep and sleep like a baby, or sleep like my husband.
Don't forget to tune in next week for another Style Improvised. Like and subscribe to our channel below. See you next week.